Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me. This layout is for Citrus Twist kits, and I'm using the 2016 February main kit. It's called Stories. And I'm starting with some white cardstock, and I'm going to be using this black and white picture of my daughter in action, of course. There is no other way to get a picture of her, pretty much. She's always moving. And I'm going to be using a lot of Maggie Holmes' Bloom collection and the Pink Paisley C'est La Vie collection. So I'm going to start with this cute little black and white frame and this floral piece from the cut apart sheet, and then these three other little pieces that I cut from the Bloom cut apart sheet. And I decided to go with the die cut butterfly on the background. That little butterfly on the cut apart sheet inspired me to use another butterfly. So I took that really pretty blue exclusive Citrus Twist pattern paper, and I had this cut file in my Silhouette. It's from the Silhouette store. I bought it a long time ago, and of a set of butterflies. And so I just made a really big one and cut it on that really pretty blue paper. And I'm just going to use it as a background design element, and it's going to add a really pretty pop of that blue color to my background. I'm going to add a little bit of mixed media, so I used some white gesso there over the majority of the page. And I'm going to create a grid pattern here. And a grid pattern is a fun way to use, several different colors or patterns of paper on your page. And it also kind of makes your page kind of nice, neat, and organized. But that doesn't mean you still can't, get a little messy if you want to. And so I'm going to kind of combine neat and messy, I guess you could say, on this page. That doily is included in the main kit, and I'm going to add it behind that top right segment of the grid behind the picture. Now these are some watercolor shimmers paints from my stash, and I'm going to use my water brush, but I'm also going to use the packaging technique just to add a little bit of that really pretty pinkish coral color behind the grid, kind of like it's peeking out from behind the grid. And I'm just going to go right over the butterfly, and that was why I added the gesso. It's going to kind of give the paper some texture, and it's going to strengthen it a little bit. And so when I add anything wet to it, it's not going to seep through the cardstock and rip it and tear it. It's going to strengthen it, and it's going to give my paint somewhere to go, and it's going to make it blend and smooth out really nicely. So if you've never used a water brush and you like doing mixed media or watercolor paints, I highly recommend it. You're able to just barely squeeze the brush, and you can control how much water comes out of the tip of it, and makes it really, really easy to paint. I highly recommend it even if you're just starting out, or if you've never tried one and you love doing mixed media. They're really fun to play with. I'm just kind of adding little splatters here and there, and it's mostly dry now, and a lot of that in the center is going to be covered up, and so you're going to just kind of see it showing, on the outer edges of the squares there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick everything down because I know that's where I want it to go. And I really, really love the colors in this. I'm usually a fan of super bright, but something about this color scheme here, it just seems really pretty and girly and, I don't know, elegant. Maybe it's that floral sheet. It seems very pretty and feminine to me. And so when I added that butterfly, I really liked how that looked. And the doily, I think, also adds a bit of a girly touch to the page. And so I was really happy with how it looked when I decided to use just these color schemes, because there is quite a bit of yellow in this kit as well, but I did not use any of anything yellow. Well, there's a little bit of yellow in that little butterfly, but not enough to really stand out. So this is from the Pink Paisley C'est La Vie collection, and these puffy stickers are so fun. And so I'm going to use a couple of those to create a little cluster down here over that XO cut apart piece. And that one little black label says always fabulous. And you always get a really fun printable every month in the kits, and so this is from this sheet here. There's always fun little shapes. There's usually a tag of some sort and just lots of little sentiments that you can cut out and use on your projects. So I'm going to use a couple of them right there to the right of that little butterfly piece. And then this hello piece is from the Pink Paisley line. And I'm just kind of creating some little layers here and there around the page. I did a little bit of stitching with my machine there, and it's gold, shiny gold thread, just for some added detail and, you know, some pops of gold. Since there were some little hints of gold to the right of the picture on those little tabs that I used, there's some shiny gold on there. And then on this little piece that I'm using here says play hard, and it's shiny gold. And I was going to staple it, but I had kind of stitched through the puffy stickers and I couldn't really fit my tiny attacher underneath there, so I just glued it down. And it dried, and you can't even see the glue under there. I'm going to use a couple of the cork pieces, and those are also in the main kit, and some of them are, a lot of them are little circles, and so I'm going to use a couple of those, and I am going to add a little bit of tangled gold thread, and I had to cut some of that out because it took me a while to get it bunched up just like I like it. The metallic thread tends to want to stay, it wants to straighten itself out. It doesn't want to loop and tangle as much as the regular colors, so I have to mess with it to get it just so. And I love these little cloud cork pieces, but I don't wind up using them on this layout. I do use them on the next page that I made. I'm going to use these little circles here though. And I really love that Citrus Twist has so many exclusives. They've got the exclusive stamps. There's almost always some kind of exclusive embellishment, whether it's you know, little acrylic pieces or cork pieces. The printable is always exclusive. There's always, or most times, since I've been on the team, there's been an exclusive pattern paper. Just a lot of original things that you can't get anywhere else, and I think that's really neat. Okay, so now I'm going to play with the stamps, and there are almost always several, well, more than several, a lot of little words and sayings and phrases, and then a couple of shapes. And so I'm going to put together a couple little things. I believe that says you are my, and then there are a couple other words you can add, and I added in dream, so it's going to say you are my dream. And I couldn't get it lined up as an actual sentence on my acrylic block, so I just stamped them separately. And then I'm going to add another one over on the left. I think that one says make things happen, I believe. And I did add an enamel heart. Now this pattern paper is really fun. This is from Studio Calico, and I just could not resist these little hearts, and so I just fussy cut out 3 of them. And I love the sketchy look of them because they're not perfect. They're kind of crooked and wonky, and I love that. And so I'm going to use a couple of those as embellishments as well. And I love that they're black and white, since the picture's black and white, and there are a couple of other black and white elements going on. And this is from Pink Paisley as well, and it's just a cute little tab of some sort, and I just like the way it looks tucked underneath that XO paper. Doesn't really serve a purpose. I just like that it looks cool right there and gives another little pop of black. I'm going to add a little bit more of the watercolor here and there. I didn't want to overdo it because I love that it's kind of subtle and, you know, you see it, but it's not overwhelming. And so I'm just going to add just a tad bit more down underneath the butterfly. And a little bit at the top underneath the doily. And playing with the plastic just gives a different effect than a brush. I don't know how it works, but it does. It gives it an entirely different watercolor effect. Now I just decided to add a little bit of the aqua color in, so I just grabbed a gelato and scribbled a little bit there to the right of the picture underneath the doily. And this is very subtle, not very bold at all. A little bit underneath that sticker, just for an extra little pop of that pretty turquoise aqua color. And the last thing I'm going to do, or one of the last things I'm going to do, is use my T-square ruler for a couple of lines so I can add in my journaling. And I just fit it right underneath that butterfly. It was the perfect area for just a couple of lines. And I was just talking about how my daughter is such a free spirit and how she is always running around and playing, and how we love her little silliness and her ability to just run around and have a great time. She doesn't even need any toys. She just likes to be outside and running around and playing. So in 2 short lines, that's basically what I was saying. This is Black Color Shine from my stash, and I do add the date stamp, and that is going to wrap it up. I have some still pictures coming up here in just a second. There's the final layout. I really like how it turned out. Sometimes layouts just come together and embellishments just go right where you want them to go, and they look just like you want them to look. And so that's how this one came out, and I'm really pleased with it. So let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did or any of these products that I used. And make sure you check out Citrus Twist Kits, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.